Hello again, this is Joseph Happy from Pennsylvania. This title of this video is called People Seeking Asylum. On the issue of the aliens that have come to the border for asylum, they have been turned back and told that they are not welcome here by President Donald Trump. A mandate issued by him through the Attorney General, who is now David Barr. Dwayne Barr, is it? He's seeing to it that these things get done. This does not please Jesus, but makes it very. Let's go back to the Gospels. Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 31 through 46. What stands out in this gospel passage is the quote that came from Jesus when he said in verses 37 and 40, "Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, putting you clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?" Jesus responds to verse 40, the king will reply, "So I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, did for me." In verse 41 through 46, it says, "Then he will say to those on his left, Depart from me." Now this is in Matthew chapter 25. So, one of verses 40 through 43, he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me." You now left is not that person. Let's not get from verse 41 through 40, you do something like that and it's sad. Verse 41 through 43, he says, "Then he will say to those on his left, Depart from me, you who are cursed, and the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look at me." Then in verse 44 through 46, Jesus says, "He also will answer, Lord, when did we see you or thirsty, or a stranger, or needing clothes, or sick, or in prison, and did not help you?" He will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me." Then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life. Those who make a practice of not meeting the needs of people, especially the needs of children, Jesus says that they will go away to eternal punishment. Those who make a practice of meeting the needs of people, especially children, with faith in Jesus, will be declared righteous and will enter eternal life. Amongst all what Jesus said about hunger, thirst, needing clothes, being sick, being in prison, is about being a stranger, not being invited in. It sounds familiar. Of course, if one is on a long journey through some wilderness, certain dangers that can accompany that journey, certain dangers that can accompany that journey. One can have one or more of these needs lacking on that trip, certainly at the end of that trip. The point is one in particular out in making a very strange way. It speaks to the families who travel over this long and treacherous journey to come to the United States for asylum, escaping what they believe is a life or death situation in the country, and that they must seek refuge in another country, such as the United States, that can protect them from such a danger. These particular refugees that have been denied entrance, not only denied entrance, but having their parents' children stripped and separated from them, not knowing where they have been taken, is a grave violation of the command of God and of his prophets. Jesus said in the Gospels of Matthew and Luke, "Now remember, Maybe there's some of these children that died. Gospel Matthew chapter 19, verse 13 through 14. And people brought little children to Jesus for him to place his hands on them and pray for them. But the disciples rebuked them. Jesus said, let the littler children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these. When he had placed his hands on them, he went on from there. In the Gospel of Luke, chapter 18, verse 13 through 17, says people were also bringing babies to Jesus, not just the children, older children, but the smaller children, and babies also, for Jesus to place his hand on them. When the disciples saw this, they rebuked them. But Jesus called the children to him and said, let the little children come to me, do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. Truly, I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter. Some words about the pardoning of former Sheriff Joseph Arpaio of Arizona by President Donald Trump. The law that was handed down against Sheriff Joseph Arpaio was a law. He should not have been arresting people, believing them just being illegal aliens, like Trump has ordered Nazi-like Nazi soldier agents to us. Should not have been arresting people for believing them just being illegal aliens. This is a transgression of the law of God, circumscribed by God. But President Trump is not a big guy. He wants to do his own thing and do things his own way. He does not care for the Constitution of the United States. But he can't be persuaded to argue. Case in point, the United States Treasury Department forced him to sanction Russia over the Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. He used this action to show that he did not have anything to do with colluding with the Russians against the United States. The sanctions that were levied against Russia were not heavy enough to get the Russians scared to stop interfering with the United States political system. Regardless of what Obama or Clinton did or did not do, Donald Trump, as a presidential candidate, did not have to collude with the Russians to become president of the United States. The circumstances surrounding that time provided him with opportunity. He also had the motive. And he and his family has been seen with people who can be viewed as very suspicious. These are two or three that the world looks to see if the possible transgression of the law has been committed by someone. Motive, his financial empire was not looking good. He was losing much. He had a need to look for ways to build it back up. His tax returns tell a huge story. He wants to provide the best in this world for his children and extended family. No father worthy to be called father is not. Opportunity being the President of the United States provides all that from the universe. You can look for a better deal within the United States. You can look for a better deal all over the world. After all, this is global economy. As far as the illegal alien issue is concerned, in order to have a reliable company or corporation, you really do need legal citizens. How else are you going to have a proper accounting of your assets? And it's important that the government can properly oversee what's going on amongst the people within the country that they are responsible for. As far as that is concerned, this has to do with the alien's children. The legal age to work and the usefulness of the children that is under the back of the provides a greater asset to the company than the seniors. But do not make a mistake. The seniors provide assets to the workforce that the youth do not. We do need both of those. During his presidential campaign, Donald Trump promised to deport over 11 million undocumented immigrants, including the United States citizen children. Now, as the United States president, he seems to have gone back on the word. He will now keep the children in the United States from being deported. allowing the children of those so-called illegal aliens to stay. And all of a sudden, he is going back on his word to allow them to stay, blaming the Democrats, saying they failed to strike up a deal that would keep them here. In truth, it is he who is to blame, holding both sides of the net. But all the while, he schemed to keep this from happening. Why? So that he can keep his campaign promise to his supporters. President Trump sees this and everything else as a game to win. Border walls, another. Go back to all that I have said concerning those so-called illegal aliens. So-called illegal aliens. The Lord does not view them as illegal aliens. He has compassion on them. They have escaped their government's oppression. Before the Lord, he allows them to escape oppression. Colonies in America escaped oppression from King England and the King's tyranny. That is why we are living here in this land called the United States of America. He does not like how the United States government is treating the so-called illegal aliens. They are not justified to call them illegal aliens, those that are among the United States citizens, especially the United States president. These aliens come from down in the South. The Bible speaks of natural occurrences in the earth that can be directed for devastation purposes that come upon the earth in man. There is the sin of man, these devastations that be directly from the Lord himself. Man has an agenda, and so does the Lord himself. His agenda overcomes and wipes out the agenda of men. Man plans his way, but God directs his steps. Proverbs 16, verse 9. To be fair to the United States, though, the Mexican government must stop allowing those poor Mexican people to leave for the cost of the United States. To be fair to America, the United States. The road that they have to travel is very dangerous and very treacherous. This is not caring for the wealthy. The citizens are to be put first. The Mexican government is to put their people first. They are commanded by the Lord to take real good care of their citizens that he has put under their charge. The Lord says that their citizens are first. What happened to the American natives in this country were very unfortunate to the Indians, as they are known mostly in this country. Yeah. Excuse me. They are living in what is called reservations. They are isolated pretty much from the rest of the United States. Their ancestors were driven off their very own land by the white man, placed in village reservations. Many of them escaped to Canada, maybe Mexico. I'm not sure about that. But they came up to Mexico because they're basically nomad. They were nomadic people. They escaped to Canada, definitely. Much of the people were killed off. The forefathers of this land were like the so-called illegal aliens. They were unwanted by those who lived there first. But those who lived there first were willing to try to accept those who had come. Others did not. But those who had attacked the foreigners were not wanted at first. To conclude this segment, eventually the Native Americans, many of whom died through these aliens that came to their land, many died through the diseases brought to them by these foreigners, aliens, and many had to flee to Canada because they were being killed off by the invasion of the white man. There are other reasons too. Listen, how many who are still here? Now many who are still here are put into what is called reservations. This is not freedom for these Native Americans. This is in part captivity. And this United States of America is a supposed free will. Again, continue to come to hear the word of God. I believe this is the word of God. It's just like in the continue. get many people to watch these videos. Thank you. Talk to you later. I'll speak tonight. Go from there. Thank you.